With the surprise entry of the Realme C1 in the entry-level segment, the competition between the lower budget smartphones is renewed. While it serves the consumers well, we must also take a look at how the overall features and specifications of the budget phones fare when put head to head. Welcome back to QatNip, and today we present you a short comparison between the latest Realme C1 with the Xiaomi Redmi 6A and the Huawei Honor 7S. So come on, let's learn together. The launch price for the Realme C1 is 7,000 Indian rupees, or that is roughly $95, and there are no alternatives to the standard 2GB RAM and 16GB onboard storage variant. On the other hand, the Redmi 6A can be bought for 6,000 Indian rupees or $81 with the same 2GB and 6GB variant, but also has an alternative at 7,000 rupees or $95 for a larger 3GB RAM and 32GB onboard storage model. And yet again, the Honor 7S comes in only one memory configuration with 2GB of RAM and 16GB of onboard storage at the same price of 7,000 Indian rupees or $95. And here we can see that the Redmi 6A has a clear advantage in price, since at the cost that the other two phones asked, the Redmi 6A comes with 3GB of RAM instead of 2 and 32GB of onboard storage instead of 16, a measly 16. And again, if you want a phone that costs less than that, you have only Redmi 6A to count on. Moving on to the design and display, we must admit that the Realme C1 is a real champion here, with its 6.2-inch notched display offering a 19:9 aspect ratio, 720x1520 pixels HD plus resolution, 271 pixels per inch density, and an 81% screen to body ratio. This is clearly far better than the rest too. As for the Redmi 6A, it has a 5.45-inch IPS LCD display with an 18:9 aspect ratio, and hence an HD plus display featuring a 720x1440 pixels resolution with a slightly higher pixel density at 295 ppi and a lower screen to body ratio of 72.7%. And lastly, the Honor 7S has a very similar 5.45-inch IPS LCD display with an 18:9 aspect ratio with the same resolution and pixel density, but a bit higher screen to body ratio at 73.8%. If weight is your concern, the Honor 7S is the lightest of the lot at 142 grams, which is insignificantly less to the Redmi 6A at 145, but quite less than the 168 grams of the Realme C1. Moving on to the performance category. Performance-wise, the Realme C1 is an obvious winner on paper with its segment-first Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 octa-core chipset, as the Honor 7S gets the worst chipset of the lot, having a MediaTek MT6739, while the Redmi 6A is powered by a tad bit better chipset from the same house of MediaTek, being the Helio A22, and both of these are quad cores in comparison to the octa-core Snapdragon 450. The 4 additional cores in the Realme C1 will certainly work in its favor when it comes to smooth navigation and moderate to heavy use for gaming and entertainment, not forgetting the paired and powerful Adreno 506 of course. However, the Redmi 6A is the only handset in this comparison that offers 3GB of RAM, with the other two settling for 2GB only, and the smartphone enthusiasts know that the chipset alone does not make all the difference. If you're someone who prefers larger RAM over an octa-core chipset, say if you like to heavily multitask, then the Redmi 6A is an option to consider. That said, the Redmi C1 beats the other two handsets in two more departments. First, the Realme C1 is the only one that offers a dual rear camera setup with a 2-megapixel secondary depth sensor, while all the three devices get the same 13-megapixel primary sensor at the rear. All the three devices also get the same selfie camera, being 5-megapixel sensors each, and all of these offering the common face unlock feature using the camera. There is no winner or loser here, but the only handset in this comparison that gets a massive battery is the Realme C1 with its huge 4230 mAh battery, being substantially larger than the 3000 mAh and 3020 mAh batteries offered by the Redmi 6A and Honor 7S respectively. So that was it for the spec sheet, and while there are pros and cons in the comparison of the three devices here, there is no reason to keep the champion title from the Realme C1. The company, while launching the handset, called it a champion in one more segment, thus explaining its C1 badging, and we cannot contend either. The powerful chipset and the dual rear camera, as well as the tall notched display and large battery, altogether make the heavier Realme C1 shine in the face of competition. And that's it for this video. A million thanks to our dear subscriber family for your continuous love and support, and until next time, stay tuned for more.